Galaxy Note 20, Note 20 Ultra might just keep the disappointing Exynos 990. This Samsung thing with the Exynos chip, I mean, we're spoiled here because we never get it. We're spoiled. We're Snapdragon spoiled. US, Canada, which gets mentioned more rarely as far as Snapdragon Samsung stuff is concerned, but Canada, US, South Korea, Snapdragon. And then other places in the world, they get this Exynos chip. Now, people have looked at this extensively, run the benchmarks. People have wanted me to talk about this. I don't know. Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. But you buy a Note 20, S20, depending on where you are in the world, you're getting a different device. And you're getting a different device on a pretty fundamental component, the processor. Now, Samsung, of course, they want to push this Exynos stuff for good reason. It's in-house. The Exynos team, they would want to test themselves against the market leader, the flagship processor.
There's competition there.
It's sort of healthy. Oh. But it does kind of suck for the consumer who may think they're getting one thing and then get something else. And for all intents and purposes, the Snapdragon is the superior setup. Now, when we talked about this 865 Plus chip, this powerhouse version of the 865, people started to speculate that, hey, that may actually end up in the Note 20 Ultra. It would make sense. It'd be a good fit. Powerhouse device, powerhouse chip. But then now there are new reports that at least in a large number of markets, this thing may have the Exynos 990 from the S20 lineup. And if you're demanding the type of price tag we expect to see with this Note 20 series, I think it's kind of sucks for that user to be on a chip that was on the S20, and even on the S20, it was the inferior chip to the non-plus version of the Snapdragon. I know it's complicated to keep it all together, but I just feel like if you're spending $1,000 on Android, you want some Snapdragon stuff. At least I know I do. So this could be another market variant thing where who knows, maybe we could see the 865 Plus in the United States, possibly in Canada. And then you and I, we're using the phone, we're loving life, we got the 10% performance improvement, and we go on, we make a video, this phone is great. And then some dude walks down the street in Germany, picks up the thing, he's got the Exynos. Lou, what's the matter with you?
Yeah.
He's run the benchmarks, whatever he's doing to figure out that
I guess you got to put a disclaimer on
his chip, and it just complicates matters because we're not used to it. It's such a core function that should you even advertise the thing as the same product, it's a bit confusing for the customer. Certainly the customer doesn't like that. And then once they find out, they're like, damn, man, I paid the same price. In fact, in some of these markets, you're paying even more.
Right.
Now, again, I understand from a strategic perspective why you might want to do something like this. Your profit margins on the Exynos stuff probably better. I just think it has to be communicated better. Maybe people have to be made more aware so they feel less offended when they come to find out what's being done. Maybe they have an option to pay a premium if they want to have the Snapdragon version in that market. I don't know how you do it. And I'm sure there's plenty of reasons and licensing deals and blah, blah, blah. Boring stuff as to why they choose to strategically do the thing the way they do. But increasingly, Will, as people become more tech savvy, more tech sophisticated, they watch shows like this, become guys like you, that kind of thing might not be so acceptable. Because now they're made more aware, and it's not just that local telco commercial sitting there saying, come buy the fancy new. No, and then they say, what chips it got? They say it like that. They stop right in front of their TV. What chip did you put in there, Samsung? And that becomes a regular water cooler talk. There's no water coolers. People aren't at work right now, but you understand what I'm saying.
Yes. Need that SD.
And I know it's crazy, Will, because in some cases you're talking about 1 to 3% performance improvement. In some cases, maybe 10. And I know it gets crazy, but it's a bragging rights thing, you know?
Yeah.
You got your pal you're playing video games with your pal over in Pennsylvania, and you're in Munich, and he said, I'm on this Snapdragon. What about you, tough guy? He's like, nah, I got the Exynos, man. I just got the Exynos.
I know, yeah.
You see, I'm not saying it's justified. I'm just
Well, is there a reason why Exynos didn't upgrade?
Yeah, they were supposed to. It was supposed to be an Exynos 992, which was supposed to bridge the performance gap to Qualcomm's chip. However, the rumor now that's circulating is not ready to go, and the thing's just going to ship with the 990, the older chip. So they were trying to bridge the gap, but it turns out it's tough. Qualcomm is doing things. They do things. They continue to do things.
Yeah, they're the market leaders.
In fact, they also want to invest some cash into India, which I'll talk about on tomorrow's show.
Okay.
How about that? I never promote tomorrow's show. I'm promoting tomorrow's show.
Well, tune in.
This is a heck of an operation we're running here.